All right, next up is Ruben. Get coffee. I didn't brew any, man. Screwed that one up. James, what is up, man? These are not patron reviews. I am trying my best to never charge for a portfolio review because I don't really believe in that concept. Jared's cool like that. I'm just not looking out for myself. That's probably what that is. But I mean, whatever. All right, we've been recording for about 15 seconds. I need to hop into this one. So, good old Ruben, third year games design student, aspiring environment artist. So, right up front, these portfolios. It's like I can do that for money. No, these portfolios really excite me because like there's a lot of room for improvement that are easy to grab improvements. So, aspiring environment artist, first, just looking at the portfolio itself, I would remove aspiring because we're all aspiring to be environment artists forever. that's just how it's gonna be. It's just how it's gonna be for all of our days. So you're an environment artist. You're just you're not in the industry yet. I guess that's what you're trying to say with aspiring. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's look through here. So line work created traditionally, paint over done in Photoshop. Practicing using tone to create depth in environment. So using tone, you definitely got the depth going on. It looks like you use, so there's like a ray of light here. I think that's what I'm seeing. Because you're using depth, that ray of light is actually increasing in saturation. When I think if you want to be, just call yourself a junior if you must. Yeah, I mean, sure. So this ray of light, instead of increasing saturation, I would just do what is happening in the background is just make it even lighter. So like, I'll just go in here. Look at that normal map. So inefficient. Let's see here. So you could use, where are we at here? Whoa. What? I didn't know about that. This is like history here now. You want to use maybe like the dodge, sorry, the dodge tool. And then you want to make sure that you're using midtones. And then we'll just soften that edge up. And then you can just, you can also, if you want, do the same thing with a duped version of it. And just do it to the whole thing. And then make a mask, invert the mask, and then paint where you want those light rays to come through. Now the reason I say do it like this is because it allows you, sharper edge here. It allows you to see where we're getting errors up there. It allows you to go in and erase these. Hey, thanks, dude. Dude, 10 months? That's crazy. Time is flying. Thanks, man. Man, I hope I don't dance like that every time. It's hard to stop myself. So, and then you can see I'm erasing it from the trees here, or from this tree, because it's close to the camera, right? And then the other thing is I think you can actually go in and blur, Gaussian blur, and actually blur the ray's edges later, too. Because you're just blurring the mask, right? So you get a much more control, and then you're sticking to your value steady versus like throwing in saturation randomly. But yeah. So let's keep it going. So overall, though, the way this is your line art or your line sketch stuff looks pretty cool. I like the vine work and stuff like that, and just little hangy bits. Oh, right. So 3D, 3 dizzle. So right now, I would say it's okay to have materials on these. Oh man, it's Nick. Thanks, dude. That's I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that. um, it's just it's got such an ego sound to it. So what I would say with this, when I say it's okay to add materials to this, is I would say modeling this stuff and getting the shapes and details down. Who wants to bet Dan will dance every time? No. Stop. So, oh, my brain. So modeling these details and modeling getting the geometry to look like what you're trying to make is the number one. It's too much, man. That's special dance. Oh, no. So the details here. Okay, I'm going to focus. If it happens again while I'm focusing on this, I'm not going to dance. I'm going to try my best. Getting the details in the geometry is key before anything else. Then materials, and then real time. I think that would be the best approach. So when I say it's okay to have materials on here like this, I would say keep a basic understanding of the materials. So like throw a tileable metal material on there. Throw a tileable, I don't know what this is, maybe a dark metal as well. And honestly, it's totally okay to just go onto a marketplace and download the free options or grow up, this music's dope. Or just go like buy some or download free ones. Like at this point in time, I would just think about the modeling and making sure that your materials read across the surface well. And look at this guy. So this one looks pretty cool. This one actually looks pretty stylized, actually. Actually. Oh, that's cool. So this detail is pretty interesting. Oh my gosh. What is going on there? Hang on. You don't really need to do this. And actually, because you did this, I zoomed in on it and then ended up seeing this. Let's see what's happening here. So I think there's some duped geometry in there somewhere. Something crazy is going on. Oh, that is interesting. Okay, so don't do this. I think I'm sorry, that sounds super rude. Don't do that. I think what is happening is you did this, and then you did this. You raised it up, and then you did it again. That's a little too. You did that, and then you rotated it. And when you rotated it, you did this to the geo. See, I feel even uncomfortable rotating it all the way to get it to collapse in on itself. This might actually make Moto cry. Let me see here. Yeah, so like, you're getting that craziness, right? So it's probably good to say that actually you could cut this, we'll paste, we'll hide that, we'll go around this, delete it, we'll delete those crazies too. We'll cap this and unhide this. So this piece being separate and floating with a gap in there, you cap that as well, is fine. Or pushing it into the geometry is fine. That is totally okay to do, and they don't actually need to be the same mesh. Oh wow, I haven't been reading chat. Anywho, yes. So watch out for that type of stuff. Be careful with this. And then the only other thing, let me see what else we can find here. So you've got some hard edge issues here. Like adding those to a smoothing group. Like it looks like you have it here, and then like this edge is just too sharp. That just shows me that maybe you didn't, like a lot of that detail you could actually bake out and not have to model most of it. Unless it's first person, right? Then it's like right there in the camera. This is cool, man. I mean, so this part, I like this part. Look, you're even floating it like we were just talking about. This I'm down with because it shows it being used, right? Like you unscrew that, you pull the thing, and then you check it. You're good to go. And kablooey. Material-wise, at least in this view, it looks pretty cool to me. There is a little bit of textile density issues, but I'm chalking it up to like a bit more of a stylized look. Like you can see the resolution of the normal for the wood material against the normal information up here. Seems like they might be a different resolution. A lot of the times using detail normal maps will help mask that problem, but it's best to try and match the textile density between these. If you need to find out what textile density is, if that's new to you, I think it's in the scrap box we have. Give me a second here. Go here. Is it textile? Like, is that right? Am I writing that correctly? Textile density. Yeah, so if you click this, go to techniques and workflows. Textile. There it is. So click that, brings you to this. This is a very good breakdown of textile density. I always go to this one when trying to explain it to people, so go check that one out. It's just in the scrapbox.io/DiNusty Discord. Just go here. I'll just throw that in here. There you go. Yeah. Hammer. It's hammer time. Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, it's terrible. What am I doing? What am I doing? There's a Noco sitting here that's been there for like a week. It's empty. I can't drink it. For anyone who doesn't know, those are energy drinks. I'm feeling it, man. I'm sad. So this actually looks, the details and the shapes are very primitive in the way that they've been modeled. I don't know if like these are floating and then you baked those in, but like this, the gap here and the gap here are different widths, and usually you would expect those to be the same. Let me see if I can do this. Group polygons? Yeah, we'll do that. It's like, I can kind of fake this. Not really though, because it's weird. But it's kind of like if you're expecting these to all be centered and it's slightly off, like you expect those to center up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's weird that they're not here. The material looks very random, and there's no separation between like what elements are what. And when I say what elements are what, I mean like the material types. Like you're getting some separation here, but like this is really low poly. Like it looks like there's some type of wrap detail going on right there. There's some skewing, like stretching, like this looks like it's supposed to be round, but it's not. Details like this, you could probably model that either sticking out or sticking in and then baking that information just so that you get some more like parallaxing in the shapes. And then, yeah, I think, let me see here. I think it's because right now you're currently lacking the understanding of how like metal surfaces work in PBR, because you're like conflicting with light and dark, and then like how your reflectivity and your gloss is set up. I think that's what's going on. Yeah. But definitely, like, again, I would say don't worry about the materials and just try and land the details. Like this wrap here, figuring out how to get that to look right is probably not just in the bake itself, but like silhouette changing. Like maybe this is lifted more here, or kind of like bumpy, just to show that there's some thickness to that. And then watch out for your bakes. Make sure those are pretty clean. What? Noble, thanks for the follow. Hope you're feeling noble today. Yeah. This is dope. It just needs that love. You know what I mean? It's very, when I say it's very primitive, it's like the shapes, you can tell what the shape started as and then like what you did to make it. Like if I look at this, let's see here. Yeah, there's a bevel there. So 1, 2, 3. So you could do, let's do this. Yeah, and I think the real one. Oh, thanks, Reddington. So in texture resources, this one is from them metals. It's for them metals. Oh yeah, because you can go, yeah. There's some good stuff in here. Free stuff, pay for stuff. This is texture resources section. Super nice. Anyways, I won't delve into this too much deeper. I just wanted to point out those things. Pay attention to the way you're modeling. Try and sell the shapes in the model. Thanks for the follow, Paper. Hope you can protect yourself. Because you're not protecting anyone else. Yeah. Let's see here. Next scene here. So this is the final scene in Ruben's portfolio. So I like that you're building a scene. Kind of useless. Very nice. I like that you're building a scene. Watching out for stuff like resolution of materials. Understanding like how the material is put together, and then watching out for things like these seams here. Like those are really important. Really, really important. Your props look pretty good. Yeah, those corners are a very easy fix. It's just welding those two edges together in the UVs, and you'd be good to go. The props themselves look pretty good. It's more of the larger scale stuff. I do like that you're trying to tell a story, though, with the light kind of being bent from the wall. Someone obviously hung off of that. I mean, maybe it was never intended for those corners to be shown. Because, I mean, minus this shot and this one, like a lot of the shots are up close of this stuff. See, this is where you start running into the texture resolution issue. Yeah. And everything is very rigid and like low poly. Like the poly count in here could probably be 4 or 5 times higher, and it still would be below what is shipping in games today. So you have a lot of geometry that you can utilize to sell the shapes that you need. And then breaking up, I don't know if this is Rising Star Environment Art Challenge. Cool. I think it's really cool that you're doing challenges, because that's a good way to put a deadline on yourself, and then push yourself as well. Breaking up the shapes and patterns, for example, is one way to fix a lot of to get more interest in the scene. So like you have a frame on this one, right? And then you have a frame on this one. You could do things like not have a frame on one and have that one inset. Let me see if I can. So if this is, let's pretend, guys. It's fun to pretend. Let's say this building is over here. Oops. Oh, what am I doing? Slightly tilted. This one, you can see how I think while I model. I'm not paying attention to scale or anything. You're gonna want to do that. I'm just gonna try and model some stuff quickly. So you have this shape, right? Oh. Oh man, come on. So you have this shape, but like, just to have that silhouette change, this is gonna be so gross. Don't mind me, guys. Let's do this down here. Ew, that felt so. I did check that tige. There's an important lesson for that one, actually. So, yeah, it does. It does. It's more of a designer thing. So you can see how like insetting this one, for example, is really like kind of changing the look and feel, and it also kind of gets you away from that the frame problem that you're seeing. Let's do that here. And yeah, I like how it breaks up the bottom edge here. I think you would also want to get rid of these edges really quick. You'd probably want to bevel these just so that you don't get such a hard edge. Oh, that bevel might be weird, but whatevs, right? Yeah. Oh god, I'm gonna have to fix all this stuff. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Anyways, just thinking about the shapes and the details and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things we can mention in here. I really like your propping though. I like how you've laid stuff out. You're thinking about how stuff is working and where people would actually put things. So that's really good. But definitely add more geometry to sell the shapes. Look at your materials and try to understand like why this looks low res. Find ways to increase the resolution of that, not just by increasing the resolution of the texture. You should be able to nail this brick material with a 1024 tileable. And watching out for these hard edges, those are the things that make stuff look like 3D. And those are the things that you want to really push to try and get past. And then the other thing I was going to say is I really like these. These are cool. These details up here, I'll just say it's okay to like do this. So if we grab this, we just do this a couple times. So say this is your material or your model you're doing. Oh, we're gonna extend that one more, just so I can get an even. There we go. So you're doing this, and that's fine. I would go in and actually grab all these edges minus these ones, bevel them once, something like that, and then let's see here. Is it this one? Thicken. Like, this doesn't even need a normal map. It's kind of crazy. So that is actually, I've seen this in games of this resolution. I've even seen it where they add like an extra loop in here just so that they can get some shape breakup. And then maybe you'll want to like dupe it over here and then get another one that maybe is longer. I don't know if this is gonna work, but like getting a shape change too, like maybe this is cut, right? There we go. Perfect. Okay, yes. So like you can get variation and breakup and change the shapes and whatnot, and you'd be in a good spot, I think, for variety and all that stuff. Even I've seen even circles cut into these, like 4 to 5, and tons actually sometimes, depending on things. So don't worry about the geometry when it comes to like trying to sell a shape, because like this is much more interesting, right? Than just having like a low poly look. And I love this song. See, and then you can start getting like really interesting shapes on your rooftops, and not worry about, like, it'll look good from down here too. Anywho, I think you have a ways to go with your modeling, and then once you get your modeling down, I would look into understanding material definition and like what PBR means and what those maps mean. There's tons of videos on YouTube about how to understand those PBR as a process and a type of material rendering. In the near future, I'll be doing a video on that as well if you want to watch that one instead. But yeah, right now I don't think you're ready. I would be posting in the Discord and getting feedback and taking all that feedback and trying your best to, I know it's kind of weird to say trying your best. Just, work on making your art stronger. And I think when it comes down to that, like, making your art stronger is being able to identify what looks wrong based on what people are saying, and then understanding the advice they're giving you and why they're giving you that advice. If you can do that, then you'll just naturally get better over time. But I mean, it's a weird thing to answer. Anywho, thanks for posting your portfolio, and I hope that this was useful to you. Yes. All right, I will be right back. We've got another one. Next one